Hello, everyone. How is it going? Welcome in, welcome in. Welcome to another Asia Teaches Me Things stream. It still feels a little bit weird to say my name in context of a title of a ongoing stream series, but I am totally for it because I love hanging out with you all and learning things together, specifically learning how to use Switcher as an awesome tool for all of the things that you create. And today we're going to be talking about how to optimize your stream for Twitch, make your stream stand out. A unused unofficial title that I love personally is how to make your streams more, insert fire emoji here, because I just think that with Switcher you can make your Twitch streams super cool, but I'm not talking about it by myself. Of course, we are going to have our good friend Claire, our social media manager. Welcome in. How are you doing?
Good. How are you doing?
Doing good. I mean,
Good.
even though the weather's a little gloomy outside, I'm feeling good.
Yeah, I know. It's definitely a Friday where I was like, do I have to come in? Can I just sleep in my bed? Can I take this stream from my bed? Yeah.
Maybe that could be its own stream series.
True. That actually would be kind of funny. But yeah, but for now I'm in the office, so it's
Nice.
great.
Looks great in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, so today we're going to be talking about just like some different tips and tricks that you can keep in your arsenal when it comes to creating your Twitch streams in particular. I have had the great privilege of streaming on Twitch for the last couple years, and I don't know if I would consider myself an expert, but I feel like I've learned a lot of things along the way, and I'm excited to talk about that stuff with Claire.
I would consider you an expert,
Oh, thank you.
especially compared to my Twitch experience. I was just telling Asia, I'm going to have a lot of probably basic questions this go around. So
Sure.
you'll definitely teach me things today. So
Yeah, definitely. I'm here for it. So a little background about my Twitch journey thus far. I've been streaming for a little over a couple years now on Twitch. And if you are unfamiliar with the platform Twitch, it is a predominantly gaming streaming software, or sorry, not software, platform. People make a lot of gaming content and live stream it there for their growing communities. But within, especially like over the last couple years, last 3 years, the categories on Twitch have really grown from streaming just games to doing cooking streams, a lot of makers and crafting streams, like a lot of like smaller but growing categories have been a big thing on Twitch. And I honestly think that if your experience is streaming these like non super popular but growing categories, you honestly might have a better chance of growing your content faster, just because the like network isn't so saturated with so many streamers all trying to do the same thing. And so that was my experience when I started streaming. I only did cooking streams, but I started adding back in some honestly a little bit of everything. I had a joke with one of my viewers the other day. I was doing a sewing stream, and she's like, I feel like every time I jump on here you're doing something different, which is not wrong.
yeah. Well, you're multi-talented, so not all of us have so many talents, but yeah, I feel like you've become almost more of like a fun like lifestyle streamer.
Thanks,
You're doing a little bit of every fun little project. So
thanks.
I enjoy watching you.
Oh, thank you. I would say a lot of people that stream to Twitch typically use OBS, which is an open like source software for streaming. But I would say that streaming with Switcher is a great way to stand out from other people that are streaming on Twitch, typically with like OBS or some or another sort of streaming software. I would say the biggest thing that has helped me stand out. I can only speak to my own experiences, but like what's helped me stand out in on Twitch is here I'm gonna do a little B roll while we're talking. Is having multiple cameras. I think that typically that between the multiple cameras and the really nice built-in graphics and transitions and stuff that you can do in Switcher without having to add so many different things to your software, it really helps it stand out. I think that like that is the biggest thing that people will comment on if they join my stream, even if I'm like a little bit smaller of a streamer than others. Like that's, I feel like that has attributed to a lot of my growth. And so I think with Switcher, like as long as you have like a disposition of being creative in your heart of hearts, in your creative mind, you really can create a unique experience for a viewer on Twitch. And I mean, I think this is the case for a lot of streaming platforms, but I would for Twitch in particular, it's all about like connecting with your audience, with your community. If you grow a following, they really kind of start to see you as like a household name, like a family member. Kind of, there's a lot of like camaraderie there. So if you can always have your community in mind when you are planning out your content and planning out like how everything looks on your streams, like that will go a long way. So
And
yeah,
I'm
sorry,
sure
I'm like
that's
going on and
also
on.
like, oh no, no, no. I mean, I honestly, I feel like I'm learning a lot. Maybe I'll get on Twitch.
Yeah.
But but I was gonna say, I feel like some of that is too like the real time comment stream that we have an option to do that in YouTube and Facebook natively, but I think that's a real asset on Twitch itself.
Yes.
And I know when you're streaming there, you do a really good job of like calling people out while you're live, responding to questions that are being asked, and I think that's a huge draw and way to build that engagement and that connection with people. So and I feel like one of the things that you're going to show us today is how to actually sort of hack a way into sharing that stream on Switcher or through Switcher.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, so one of the things that I that's really helpful, natively in Switcher is you can always view your comments like you can, like you said, on other platforms. But one of the cool things you can do is use the iOS screen sharing feature. And pull up an app that shows Twitch chat. I use ChatSend. That's my preferred. I just think that is like the easiest way to go about like sharing chat.
And maybe after this we can like link to like pin a comment
Yes.
or comments and link to those resources too,
For
because
sure.
I think these are great options.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, so for this process, I think this is like something that should be kind of familiar to people that have used the overlay screen share overlay feature, whether they're using it on their iOS devices or on their desktop. But if you just have that app pulled up, or a similar app pulled up, and specifically if it has a black background, you can bring that in to your switcher to your switcher switching device, that's what I'm trying to say, and edit the source to be an overlay. And I'm actually gonna like kind of do that right now. And so if I'm gonna actually pull up our hold on, we're doing this in real time here, people.
I mean, you're multitasking, so I'm in constant awe of how you're able to do that.
Thank you. Well, so if I pull up this screen, obviously right now it just shows up as a source, but if I long press it, which I am not sharing right at this moment, but it's fine, and I knock out the black transparency or black to transparent, and I put it back on the screen, I can, let's go back here, and I can display chat just like that. I tried to mock a little
That's awesome.
conversation. It's literally just me
Yes.
talking to myself, but I figured it'd be kind of fun.
I like
Yeah.
all the emojis. They're
Thank
fun.
you. Yeah, I know. I try. But this is a really cool way to like kind of put you on the same level, if not higher, than other streamers, is being able to display your chat in real time on screen, as opposed to just like selecting individual comments to like post for or to display for as long as you want. So this is kind of nice, especially if you're on Twitch and you're like by yourself, don't have like a team behind you to like tap on assets. This is a nice way to just have it up there and you don't have to think about it. If you need to take chat down for a second for whatever reason, it's just one tap away. So I really love that feature. I try to do that on streams from time to time. But yeah, that would be my like personal hack for displaying comments. It's pretty simple. I think it's
That's
a great
awesome.
little tool. But I'm gonna remove that.
Well, and I think also just so that our viewers know, I think we did cover how to
Yes.
Import a like black background into transparency in Switcher in a previous Asia Teaches Me thing. So if you all want to find that, that really walks through the steps on how to do that. So
exactly.
Yeah.
Look at us. We're just iterating on things we've already learned. I love it.
I love it. I love it.
One other thing, we'll touch on multiple things here today, but one thing that I will say is you can do whatever you want, but on Twitch it's pretty normal to have very long form streaming. So here on Facebook and on YouTube, where we're streaming right now, and on our Switcher player, we are doing just like a 15, 20, maybe 30 minutes if we're being super chatty length stream. But on Twitch or other gaming type streams, like typically you will go for a couple hours, maybe 4 hours. I think the longest one I ever did was 7 hours, which I don't know why.
Oh my gosh.
That, but I did.
Oh, that sounds like, frankly, torture to me. But I'm sure you carried it off well.
Thank you. I appreciate
you're
it.
so great at carrying it. So,
but
that's
there
like
is
a nightmare.
there is something to be said about like for the algorithm for Twitch. Like when you are streaming longer, it generates more interest, especially if you can have like consistent chat. It just puts you on more recommended channel lists when people are logging on to Twitch to view. So the longer you can go, honestly, sometimes it's very helpful. So we can encounter the issue on Twitch on Switcher where if you have recording enabled, you probably will run out of space, especially if you're going for very long.
Yes.
So we'll walk through it here in a second because this will like apply to a couple different processes. But if you can enable cloud recording through Switcher, you can actually disable recording on your switching device, like the physical device, but you'll have that digital recording in the cloud that you can access in your dashboard, which is super nice.
That's amazing. Yeah.
So
you could actually like pull it down for, so you could pull it down for like clips and that kind of thing.
Right.
That's
exactly.
Awesome.
It's super nice. So I'm actually going to share my screen and we can talk about that a little bit because I will also lead us into just talking about multi-streaming in general when it comes to Twitch. Let me just kill some time while I am pulling up different things.
Well, so when you were streaming for 7 hours, maybe we can talk about that for a second while you're getting set up. What were you streaming? Was it a co-working stream or were you cooking or were you making something or was it more of just like interacting with people?
I actually was
comments and stuff.
I actually was doing a sewing stream, believe it or not.
Nice.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun, but it was one of those things where it was my first sewing stream to begin with. And I had in my mind, I was like, I want to do a project from start to finish, like all on stream.
Oh, wow.
And I don't know why I didn't pick like a easier like item to sew. I did like the most complicated thing, which was fun. Exactly. Yeah. It's one of those things I was like, I just kept in my mind being like, we're almost done. Let's just get this all on stream. And then I look at the clock, it's like, oh my gosh, I've been streaming for 7 hours.
Oh my gosh.
But
Well, I mean, if for any of our viewers who don't already follow Asia, she on Twitch, she makes the coolest things. She
thank you.
just showed me a baby outfit that she made, and
Yeah.
she has been doing so many cool upcycling, thrifty things. So highly recommend you check it out. It's really cool.
Thanks. I appreciate that. Yeah. So obvious, if you are, at all familiar with Dashboard, you can set up your Twitch streams just by going to platforms and then clicking on Twitch and then setting up your stream here. One thing that I kind of mentioned, but maybe didn't like very specifically mention, one thing I love about Twitch is you can select your category, which will make it very like a lot easier for people to find you. So if you're playing a specific game, or like if I was sewing yesterday, so I chose makers and crafting, which was the most applicable category for me. It's super nice because it helps you just like funnel in those viewers that want to like be excited about the things that you're excited about that you're sharing. But if I was just to stream to Twitch without doing anything different, that's how I would go about it. But if I do want to do the little cloud recording hack, I will, for one, go to my settings on my switching app, like on my iPad or whatever iOS device you're using, and go to outputs and scroll down to the recording section. And then if you tap on advanced settings, you can disable recording. And just remember that you did that if you're like expecting to record something locally on a future thing. Like don't forget to toggle that back on. But I have it toggled off for Twitch streams. But then the next thing you'll want to do is, instead of going to Twitch, what am I saying? Instead of, not except for, instead of connecting and setting up a Twitch stream directly, you'll want to like make sure you're still on platforms, but go to multi-streaming instead. I think this is a little hack that people don't realize. You can actually just select one source to multi-stream to if you want to, and I personally do it for Twitch. So if I go to multi-streaming and select Twitch and then my channel as a destination, I can just continue with one destination. And then from there, what you can do is yes, you can save things to your video library, and that will enable that cloud recording. So that way, when you go to your video library, you can see your completed Twitch stream, even though you have it disabled locally. So if I go to my video library, hopefully there's nothing embarrassing here, but yeah, here you go. You can see some of my past streams. I had one that was 2 hours and 38 minutes long. Some of these are a little bit shorter, but you can find all of your cloud recordings there in the video library.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so
that's such a good like handy thing to know.
Mm-hmm.
That's really cool.
Yeah, it's like my back pocket, like on my checklist of when I'm doing a Twitch stream, this is what I have to do, or else my stream will stop because it's going for too long.
That's fair. So I guess I don't know if you've already answered this, but can you multi-stream with Twitch? I know there's like some particular, like I don't know a lot about Twitch, but I know there's some particular things that you have to be aware of when you're multi-streaming.
Yes. So when you start, when you for the first time start streaming to Twitch, you honestly don't have a ton of regulation to what you can do. So during that time frame, you can definitely multi-stream to as many platforms as you want and not worry about breaking any terms of service like rules. But part of the like affiliate program, which was what it's called, but like the payout program for Twitch, like that first tier level, when you hit that, I can answer any questions about the requirements for this, but when you like achieve that status of being a Twitch affiliate, there are terms of service that do not allow you to multi-stream to any other like major platforms. They do allow multi-streaming to TikTok specifically while streaming to Twitch, but you can't multi-stream to YouTube or Facebook. And as far as I'm aware, you can't multi-stream to a website either, like your own personal website, but you can do that before you hit affiliate. So there are some people that have like interesting strategies of like never actually applying for the affiliate program and wait until they just gain a lot of traction, and then then they're able to negotiate their own terms. And if that's you, I mean, you are so much cooler than me.
Man.
But that would be the only thing
That's
to keep in
awesome.
mind.
No, that's really good to know, especially if you are trying to monetize your stream and create like a new source of revenue. I think that's a really handy thing to have. I also think too, like, I mean, if you're hosting video on your website, I'm assuming that even if you're not streaming live to your site, like multi-streaming, you could potentially upload the original stream if you wanted to, so that it's additional content for your site.
Oh, definitely.
Later.
Yeah, I have the unique hurdle that I like encounter, where I have a lot of community dispersed over multiple, or like all around the globe, and so obviously I have to like deal with time zone issues. And every time,
humble brag there.
Whatever, it's fine.
International fans.
But whenever I have to like reschedule my stream schedule, which we can talk about that too, but I always have to think through, like, okay, if I stream during whatever given time, what time zones will be able to participate and which ones won't. So it's really nice to have offline content, or just like uploaded content to your website is great. Social, like, you know, having clips for socials is great too, because it allows people that aren't able, you know, if it's like 2 a.m. their time and they can't like hang out with you live, or they should be asleep. They can still connect with you, and they're like, you know, still part of your audience even if they can't be there live.
Oh, that's such a good point. That's awesome. I love that perspective.
Yeah. But speaking of scheduling, sorry, I'm like going all, I love talking about Twitch. I think it's so fun.
I love it. No, please. You're making my part. Please keep going.
Okay, cool. Speaking of scheduling, I personally think, at least when you're starting out, it is super helpful to have a schedule if you're able. I mean, I would say just like go live if you can, just generally speaking. But if you are not able to like stream at a scheduled time, like I said, just go live. But if you are able to stick to schedule, I think that helps your content. Sorry, I'm just going to acknowledge the fact that we are having a little bit of internet issues. We have some weird weather that I think is interfering with
connectivity.
Yes.
I know.
Okay, I think we're catching up now. Okay. I was trying to like play it cool.
Yes, I agree.
I kind of got distracted what I was saying. But
no, you were doing a good job. I was trying to figure out if it was just on my end or not. But yeah, I think honestly it is kind of a icky day outside today, as we said earlier. So I have a feeling that's got a lot to do with it.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. So, I mean, at least it hasn't really been an issue for most of our time today, because I was a little bit worried about it. But
yes,
I'll just say real quick before we have to wrap things up, potentially because of the weather. I would say if you're able to create a schedule and stick to it at least for a little while, that is very helpful to create like a reliable source of like entertainment, of engagement for your growing community. Like, I think that's a great way to just, you know, generate more interest around your content. So all that to say, scheduling is cool. But
I think that kind of goes for any type of live that you want to host. Like, having some consistency lets people know when to tune in. People will get in the habit of tuning in. So I do feel like that's a good practice just across the board, even if you're not streaming to Twitch.
Right.
So
exactly.
Yeah.
Cool.
Good tip.
Thanks. any questions
Awesome.
we can
Yeah.
answer before we wrap up?
It looks like there are a couple questions, but maybe none that are super related to Twitch or what we're
Okay.
talking about. So we will respond to those in the comments
Yes.
if you've asked a question. But we try to reserve the responses during this portion just for what the topic is that we're talking about. Um, there is one, and I may be misreading it or misunderstanding it,
Okay.
so I don't know if this is related or not. But someone commented, "I understand we can stream RTMPs. I use Switchboard Live, but the comments can't be joined from those." I don't know if that's in
That
response to maybe the importing the comment string or if that's even a
potentially.
question, but um,
Yeah, I would say go ahead and write into like we can talk about that a little bit more, but there's a lot of like extra details that have to be shared. So if you want to write into our support email, if you go to support@switcherstudio.com and send us an email there regarding switchboard and RTMP and getting that all set up, we'd love to talk about that. But I think it'd be a little bit technical for here.
yes, yeah. And there is actually, I'm reading it now. I apologize. It is,
Oh, you're good.
as you mentioned earlier, completely live. So they wrote in a question later, but yeah, I think if that's a more technical thing, then we can definitely tackle it offline.
Yeah.
Um, and let me just double check that we don't have anything else related to this. But I think we've had some good dialogue about it. But yeah, keep asking questions. We'll keep responding in the comments even after we're not live. And as Asia mentioned, we have an excellent support team. So
Excellent.
always feel free to write in. Yes. They help me as well. So, but yeah, they are happy to answer questions and walk through some of those more difficult circumstances that you might have. And that's just support@switcherstudio.com. And that team includes Jordan, who is
Yes.
helping us mod today as
Thank you,
well. So
Jordan.
thank you to Jordan. Um, yeah, but I don't know if we want to maybe wrap up so that
Yeah.
we we stop freezing
Yeah, sure.
or I stop freezing
Gotta
maybe.
stop while we're ahead. Cool.
Yes.
Well, thank you, Claire, so much for hanging with as always.
Thanks,
And we'll
Asia.
hang out soon. Next month, we'll talk about some fun things. We'll have more details here in a second. But thank you for being here, Claire.
Yeah.
Thanks. Bye. All right. Well, thank you for another successful Asia Teaches Me Things stream. I am just always I just always have the best time hanging out with you all and talking about fun things to make Switcher even more awesome than it already is. Learning new things together. I'm always learning new things here on these streams as well. So I will see you soon. Thank you so much. Until next time, happy streaming. Have a great night.